Welcome back to another episode of the TheNappyDreadPodcast. This is episode 3. This week, decided to go ahead and do the show by myself. I want to do my first solo episode. I have a couple guests lined up, some big time guests, but I figure I'm going to just go ahead and do this one myself. Had a couple things I wanted to get off my chest, a couple rants I wanted to go on. First thing that I wanted to say to the staff of the McDonald's on West Main in the Westport Plaza, count your fucking days. All right. I'm tired of you bogus ass niggas playing me every time I come up there. How the fuck do I pull up at 10:30, y'all close at 11, y'all talking about y'all closed? How the fuck I come up here, y'all talking about y'all out of 1/4 or 1/10 beef patties? I understand the supply chain is fucked up and whatnot, shit like that, but how the fuck is a burger joint out of burgers? That's what I'm wondering. And whatever happened to good service? I understand the job that you in right now, it might not be the ideal situation from you, but still you gotta take pride in your job. It don't matter if this is a short-term thing and you don't plan on being here. If you feel like you above the job, you gotta take pride in that shit, dog. Cause you're not gonna move up. There's not gonna be no more opportunity if you a smart ass. Like, how the fuck do I pull up to the drive-thru and somebody just like, what can I get you? And I know like you have hard days and shit, but like this is literally what you signed up for. You know? Like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, what? Like, are you fucking serious? You try to order and be polite, you come up to the window, they just stare at you, look at you, don't even say nothing. Give them the money, then they mess the order up. You come back, then they mad at you because they didn't get your order right. And I just be like, dog, like, I get it. Like, you know, shit ain't ideal, but what the fuck? And like these servers, when you go out to restaurants, I went on a date with a young lady a couple of days ago, and the service, it was terrible. Like, it was horrible. And I left him a $5 tip. And in my mind, you know, about the circumstances, that's quite generous. I could have been a real prick and just gave you a quarter, you know what I'm saying? And like some of these servers, they just have the audacity to think that they just deserve some nice tip just because they have this job title. You know, I've been a server. I've been there before. I done had plenty of tables where I gave great service and I done gave great service and got nothing. It is what it is. It's a part of it. You never expect nothing. Like, if you take expectations out of the picture, it'll make things a lot easier for you. But like the server, you know, I have to go up to the bar to get drinks because he just not coming by. It's taking him forever. You get her order wrong. Then when we get the ticket is wrong. Yeah, I'll have this out in a second. Like, bruh, like, come on, man. Like honestly, what do you expect me to give to you? Like, what are you? How are you really expecting like some 20% tip on this service? You know, like that's something I've never really understood. And then like he acted so mad. But the thing is though, I'm a good tipper. This money going to somebody. You know what I'm saying? This dub I got, you know, this 25 shit, it could be higher. It's going to somebody. So when you lacking and you doing all this shit, I'm going to give you the 5. And then I'm going to give homegirl I seen over here working 3 tables, I'll just throw her a 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, thank you for working hard, man. I seen you've been trying hard. And when you do this, people, you got to make sure that the other server sees you. You always have to be sure that they see you so they can know, like, damn. And maybe that's an asshole move on my part, but I'm not no fucking coach. I'm not there to take them apart like, hey, man, I just want to let you know the service is bad. That's why I didn't give you a good tip. Fuck all that. You know? It's like, god damn. But then we run into the situation as people are tired of not getting good tips because they're bad servers. No, everywhere is understaffed because people don't want to work. And is it that people don't want to work, or, you know what I'm saying? Is it that they done moved somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? Because shit do be understaffed, but it's mostly like fast food and restaurants and shit like that. I mean, most of the stores I've been in, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't seem like the stores and shit be that understaffed. It just mostly be like in restaurants and shit. But like motherfuckers be in McDonald's working their ass off, shit, getting treated like slaves in that bitch. So I can understand why people don't want to do that. But speaking of dates and young ladies, I'm not anybody special to tell you women, you beautiful women, anything. But ladies, I just want to say, like, it's a red flag when you come into a man's house and you're like excited and like showing it of how clean it is in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I brought a girl home after a date, and she was just like, oh my God. I'm like, what? What's up? She's like, it's so clean in here. And I'd be like, oh yeah. And then she's like, oh my God, like looking around and shit. She's like, you really take care of this place, don't you? I'd be like, excuse my French, but bitch, I live here. Like, am I supposed to be living in squalor? Do you fuck with niggas with like just dirty ass cribs and shit all the time? You know what I'm saying? That always just blows my mind. That's a huge red flag to me. As soon as somebody says that, I'm just like, what? It's clean in here. Excuse me? Another red flag is a woman with an extremely dirty house. That's a big red flag. Like, I don't know, man. It's like nothing crazier than to go over to a woman's house and to just be like, what are you doing all the time? Oh, I work a lot. Everybody does. You could dust this motherfucking table off and sweep this floor up and shit. And I don't mean to be extremely vulgar and shit, but one of the craziest things in my life that happened to me, I was receiving from a young lady, and I seen a cockroach. I'm like sitting like this, like hitting the blunt, like look down. I see a whole motherfucking roach on the ground, dog. A whole motherfucking roach. Like, I swear this motherfucker seen me like he was walking up to me. And I'm like, yo, I gotta go. And the craziest thing was, I was like, hey, I gotta go. I'm sorry. She's like, what do you mean you have to go? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm sorry. I just gotta go. And she's like, why? I'm like, girl, there's fucking roaches down there, man. She's like, you just gonna leave over a couple roaches? You know when somebody say something crazy and you got to look behind to see if maybe they was talking to the person behind you? She said, what? It's just a couple of roaches. I said, I thought you was maybe talking to him back there. Like, what do you mean a couple of roaches, girl? That's crazy talk. Like, that's fucking crazy talk. And I understand circumstances can be different for different people, but like, what? I'm sorry, shorty, but that's not my kind of thing. That's not my kind of thing. She got to straight up a whole roach motel and shit. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm on the hunt for a new TV show and I need y'all's help. It's been a minute since I found a series that I can really dive into, that I've really like got into, that's like caught my eye from jump, that can keep me, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all know what I'm saying. Like sometimes when you start a show, you just like, man, I just can't get into this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people been telling me the Ozarks is one to try. I'm trying to think of a couple other ones, but I just love a good series on TV. Like that's some, I mean, honestly, that shit is better than a fire ass movie. Cause obviously, I mean, it keeps going on, but like a cold ass series, something off the top, Game of Thrones. I know I might not look like it, but bruh, that was some of the hardest shit I ever seen in my life, G. Like the storyline was so fire. And now they coming out with the spinoff show, The House of the Dragon, with Daenerys Targaryen fucking her family and shit before when they were still kings and shit. And I want to go into Daenerys Targaryen. The second time watching the show through, like, her character sucks. Like, obviously she's a great actor. She plays a character. But her character is just like this naive, like, dumbass girl who just, like, was afforded all of these advantages. And it seems like she only, like, with the Masters of Astapor, she went with wit. But, like, she got 3 dragons. Like, who's not going to submit to 3 big ass dragons flying around? You know what I'm saying? Like, what same person? I know that was a different world back then where niggas lived off honor and all shit like that. If a motherfucking dragon come up and look at me, yes ma'am, what we on? What we doing? You know? But the new series, it looked like it's gonna be pretty interesting. I seen the dude that played what's the prince from England that just died? Prince Philip. He played Prince Philip on The Crown. He played Daemon Targaryen on the show. And I want to see it because they got a motherfucking black character who I should have on the Nappy Dread podcast. He played Corlys Valerian, like the sea snake. He's supposed to be like the coldest niggas on the sea because I never read the books. You know what I'm saying? I never read the Game of Thrones books. I watched the show. I read like a couple chapters of the first one, but I just never got all the way into it. But like, I don't know. Some people always complained about like reading the book first and then watching the movie because you already know when you got expectations and everything. But like when you watch the show first or you watch the movie first and read the book second, you know what I'm saying? That's the best way to do this shit. Because Game of Thrones, like you watch it on TV and it blows your mind, like the shit is incredible and everything. But like in the books, the shit be like completely different. So when you read the books, you like, oh, this the real story. You know what I'm saying? The not fit for TV version of the shit. But like when you watching the TV show, it seems super hard. You know what I'm saying? But then when you read the book, you know what I'm saying? That shit be like extra hard. Like I watched Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan is fire. I used to watch John Krasinski on The Office, and like people hate on The Office, which I don't understand. It's a great TV show. I've never understood how people could just make like such simple things so funny. Like just like a, you know, like an eye roll, shit like that. Like they would make that shit hilarious on The Office. But what's crazy is to see like John Krasinski go from that character, Jim Halper, to being like a straight up like a badass. Like Jack Ryan, nigga got scars on his back from a helicopter blowing up. He fucking bitches. He in Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? With the gun on a nigga's neck. Yo, he was in Jack Ryan, right? Season 2. Spoiler alert. Season 2 of Jack Ryan. He got the president of Venezuela, bro. I'm talking about got his head down on the desk. Got the gun on the back of his neck. You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah. Somebody come run through the door. Bow! Put it right back on his neck. Don't even kill him. Let the people overthrow the building. Let them have him. You know what I'm saying? In Jack Ryan season 1, they was after Suleiman. Yeah. So this dude, his name was Musa bin Suleiman. And it's like the new ISIS type shit. You know what I'm saying? He got the next big caliphate. He running shit in the Middle East now. He done took over from the other dude. He wasn't paying them, taking care of them right. None of shit like this. So Musa bin Suleiman, him and his brother, you know what I'm saying? They building resources. They just so happen to be Canadian immigrants. He get arrested and shit. Or I think it's France. They was French. They immigrants. Boom, bow, they get fucked up with them over there. He get arrested. He go to jail. He find Islam and shit. He really, you know what I'm saying, find it. And then, you know, they move back to the Middle East. They start, you know what I'm saying, gearing up to change shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like such a cold back and forth game. Like, it always just amazes me. And maybe it's this reefer that makes it do it. But like, damn. Shit, like, just like watching TV and shit, the shit be blowing my mind. You know, like, obviously somebody can sit out and think through all that shit. Obviously. But like, all the work that gotta go into that little hour that you watch for that week. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta film this conversation for hours and hours on end. And it's like trying different little voice inflections, trying different little movements, and the way you interact, and you know what I'm saying, all the types of shit like that. Which makes me think, like, bro, acting would be so fun. Nappy heads out there, nappy dreads out there, could y'all imagine me on set? You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine your boy on a movie? I could already see it now. You know what I'm saying? I could be like, what would be a good role for me to play? What would be a cold ass role for me to play? Damn. I don't even know. But I'm sure I could fuck that up though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would be a cold ass actor. I feel like I would be a super cold ass actor. Speaking of actors, one time somebody told me that I looked like Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Henry had a son. That shit hurt my soul, dog. You know what I'm saying? My nigga James said that to me, and I was like, I felt like I had been shot. He said, nigga, you look like Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Henry had a son. I was like, the nigga had roasted me. And you know, speaking of roasting and shit like that, like, I want to know from y'all, like, yo, like, when did people start getting so like sensitive? When do y'all think it was? Like, when do you think the turnover was when people was just like started getting offended about everything and crying all the fucking time? Like, do you think that that's a recent thing that's happened lately? Or do you think that, like, you know what I'm saying, social media just exacerbated it to the max, because now you can put out your complaints no matter if 1 or 100,000 people see it? You know? I'm sure people was probably complaining and shit like back in the 50s and 60s, complaining all the time, but I guess nobody just put it really on the internet, so you couldn't see it. Like, they just complained about it in their house and to their friends. Because, like, I complain a lot. I ain't even gonna cap. I be bitching a lot, but it ain't like crybaby bitching. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean when I say that. But it's just like, you watch the NBA, bro. Speaking of, I'm watching the game right now. These niggas just be complaining, crying. You get on Twitter, somebody posts something, and then you just see like a famous person post something. It's just like fucking 300 people under it, crying, complaining. You don't understand. You're misusing your platform. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. Whatever happened to minding your own business? Whatever happened to just worrying about you, your people, the shit you got going on with you into your family, your friends? Whatever happened to that? You know, if you're like over like 21, and that's even being generous. If you're over like 21 years old, like, what the fuck are you doing on Twitter or Facebook, like commenting on like corporations and famous people's posts, like starting arguments and literally like arguing with people you don't even know? Like, you know, I feel like maybe I'm high and I'm going off space from what I started about from the beginning, but it's like, yo, like literally, the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. I just been seeing like, bro, it's like they post one snippet and it's just like thousands of comments of people like bitching and complaining about this. I'm like, bro, them people is rich. Them people is in court rich. Like, shut your lame ass up. What the hell are you so worried about that shit for? I get it. If you talk about it a little bit, you saying something funny during the trial. Maybe I sound insensitive to maybe people who've been in domestic shit, but like, bro, who cares? Like, why do you care so much about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? He trying to get his money back. He trying to get his career back. That shit is just too much. Every time you look on the goddamn phone, this, that, with 100,000 comments. And I'm going to say this too, and it might sound wild. Like, women is going after Amber Heard, right? And I mean, I guess like rightfully so. I mean, I'm not going to go after anybody because it don't matter. Like, the fuck? Like, going after famous people, like, what are you, man? Anyway, but like, I wonder, is women going to go after Megan Thee Stallion the same way now? You know what I'm saying? Like, Megan Thee Stallion, they saying she basically like blatantly lied. Like, they saying she basically like the doctor who treated her foot turned into the police and shit. And he said he treated her shit for stepping on glass. There was no bullet in her foot or nothing like that. She done ran a whole smear campaign on Tory Lanez, his whole shit. And now the truth done came out. She ain't even get shot. She done put on this, tried to fuck the nigga's career up, profited in her career, playing the victim, and she done got shot and all this shit, and fucked his career up. Is everybody gonna go to the hearings for Tory Lanez? Fuck Megan Thee Stallion. She's a lying bitch. Is y'all gonna do that too? Fuck no. When I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? My mama, she used to beat us. And I'm not talking like just whoopings. I'm talking about savage beatings. You know, I'm talking about mommy dearest. No more wire hanger beatings. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking Ike Turner, Tina Turner beatings. When I was a kid, I'm gonna let y'all in on a story, right? I'll never forget. And granted, before I start the story, I was in the wrong. Being an adult now, you understand things a lot more. And being an adult, you understand, like, it's not that hard to go downstairs and pull that chicken out the freezer. It's not. There's nothing hard about it at all. Nothing. And one day, you know, my mother, she called me in the morning and let me know. She's like, hey, I need you to get that chicken out the freezer. And I said, yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, I can do that for sure. And I didn't. I want to say I'm probably like 9, 10 at the time, some shit like that. It's the summer, I'm off school, we playing the game, we down at Ridge, we hooping, all that. And I'm in my own little world, you know. And she said, Dre, make sure you take that chicken out, okay? I said, yeah, that's fine. I promise I will. And I didn't. And I had left, we played basketball, all that. Went to Dairy Queen, got some ice cream, came back, and started playing the game. I'm upstairs, I'm playing NBA Street 2 on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my zone right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm 10 years old. And then all of a sudden, I hear brakes. And y'all know what that's like, dog. Like, you hear them brakes and your stomach drops like you on a fucking roller coaster, dog. You know, it's just like, and you're like, oh my God. And I remember when I heard it, I said a prayer. I'm like, God, please restrain her from what's about to happen. And she came in and I heard her. She said, Dre. And I said, hey, what's up? And then she walked in the kitchen and I heard the freezer open and then I heard it close. And she said, Dre! And I'm like, fuck, damn it. Shit. So I'm like, yeah. She's like, get your ass down there right now. I'm like, fuck. I walked downstairs and she said, where is the chicken at? And I'm like, I don't know. I had got it out. D must have put it back or something. She said, Dre, don't lie to me. D's not even here. You know damn well you didn't take that chicken out. You're gonna look me in the face and lie. And I'm like, Mom, I'm so sorry. She said, go to my room and get me a belt. And I'm like, oh. And that's like the part of the psychological games they play when they whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make you go get the belt. That's like when they make, like, you know what I'm saying? When they make a nigga dig his own grave. Like, dig a hole and then shoot you into it. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up psychologically. And then I got the belt and I handed it to her and she took it and she folded it over and she just started snapping it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh God. Another more taunting, you know? Mind games, shit like that. Getting inside my head before she whooped my ass. And I'm like, I don't think I can take it this time. And she took the belt, and from doing this, and she flipped it over to do her first swing. She was like, turn around. And I turn around. And when I turn around, I just take off. And I try to run. Yo, when I'm talking about the shit was moving in slow motion, like, yo, I seen her throw the belt up like this, right? And the slack fell, so it fell down. And she caught that motherfucker like this, right? And I looked back and seen it. And I tried to speed up. Bruh, and this shit in slow motion, dog. I felt like I was Django, like she just... And I'm like... I fall to my knees. And I'm like... And she's like, you better not never forget no goddamn chicken again. And I'm like, yes, Mama. I won't forget again, Mama. She said, now take your ass upstairs. And, you know, I slowly got up, holding my back and shit. And took myself upstairs. And I'm like, damn, G, it's like that. And that's been another episode of the Nappy Dread Podcast. That story was kind of hard for me to tell. What my mama used to do to me, she used to fuck me up, y'all. I promise. So when you see her, don't think she all sweet. Don't think shit is sweet. She's like that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank y'all so much for all the support you've shown so far. I want to give a shout out to my guests so far, Woosie and Blisky. And I also want to say, be checking in on the channel this week. I'm going to say we're going to probably do Wednesday. Either Tuesday or Wednesday. I got an interview short. We're going to start our interview short series. Not going to be a full podcast. It's going to be kind of like an in-depth interview, just straight interview with somebody of a different occupation kind of every time. We might have a couple people in the same ones, but I kind of want to get people to do different things. And I'm super fucking excited because this first week on our first Nappy Dread Shorts, where we do the interview, I got a fucking slam dunk. I got 2-time Pan American Women's Freestyle Champion, 2021 Women's Bronze Freestyle Medalist, future UFC Hall of Famer Forrest Molinari on the show for an interview. And I just want to say, Forrest, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, training down that Sun-Kiss, getting ready for Finals X. And helping train with fighters like Chris Cyborg and Patricky Pitbull, Davison Figueiredo, fighters like that. I just want to say thank you so much for taking some of your time to talk to us here at the show. We are huge fans of what you do. You exactly what I love about wrestling. So I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. Once again, y'all, thank y'all so much for the support. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that shit for your boy. I'm trying to quit my job and not have to work no more. People think that I'm doing this because I have a passion for it. that's where you went wrong. This is all for monetary gain. I've been working for about 10 years straight and I hate it. I'm trying to quit my job, you know what I'm saying? Chill out, wake up in the morning, work on the pods, do some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. But thank you all so much for tuning in to the Nappy Dread Podcast. We'll be back next Friday with another episode with a special guest. I got a couple lined up and a couple in the vault. Thank y'all so much for everything that y'all have done so far. And shit. Thank you. Peace.